Okay, hello everyone. Hey guys, how's everyone doing there in the chat? I uh I know it's been a little while. It's been a little while. 6 months actually. I looked it up. It's been 6 months for my last show, and I just wanted to do a show, kind of very impromptu today. I finally had some free time, but I'm good. I've been fine. Nothing crazy's been happening. There's been no alien abductions or Men in Black or Nephilim. Oh, there you go, another monster. There's one. Nothing crazy. Just really busy working and just doing my other business. Just haven't had like any free time. But it's been too long, so I wanted to do a show. Wanted to talk to Drew and have Drew on and talk to you guys. And boy, I mean, anything happened in the last 6 months in the world? Oh. So I'm gonna try to do a show. I don't know, once a month when I can. Maybe just when I can. Once a month, twice a month if I'm able to do it. At some point, hopefully, it will it will go back to more often at some point down the future. But at least for now, I'm just gonna do it when I can. Jump on here and yeah, and catch up with the world. What's going on? So let me bring Drew on. Drew, welcome back.
Yeah, guys, I called Final Death Star the other day, and we were texting back and forth. And I told him, dude, I miss you, and I miss Sundays, and and he alluded to the fact that perhaps this was going to be the Sunday, and lo and behold, he has made his triumphant return. I'm a happy guy because I really did miss this show because, man, this was the thing that got me jazzed for Sundays besides church, was getting on here and talking about the crazy things in the world, not necessarily the conspiracies that aren't conspiracies anymore that actually came true, like the death cult, the people that want to kill us, but the things that we can't explain in the world. It's always fun to talk about, and I'm really glad that Jason was able to make some time and come on, and when we got some good stuff for you tonight. I cobbled some really cool things together that we're going to cover here in just a second, and we'll talk about a variety, and of course, we'll have the famous clip too. We'll have our crazy Bigfoot lady. We got to have that Bigfoot lady.
What's her name? No, we called her Janet, right? Because
Janice.
or Janice, yeah, Janice. Oh, Janice, missed you, Janice. Yeah, I mean, everyone's. Well, it's funny. You do a show like this, and then you don't do a show for a while, and people start thinking like, what did they get him? Did they did they finally take him down off the internet? Is that it? But no, I think I did get a notice though from YouTube saying that because I've been inactive for so long, my channel might not, I might lose monetization because I don't have the hours anymore. Mm-hmm. So there's that. But otherwise, no, everything's fine. I've been good.
The funny thing is, Jason, I think my channel's far more in danger of being blasted out to Kingdom Come than yours because
you go right at them politically.
I'm the one that the FBI will probably knock on my door.
That's you go after them directly. Yeah. So, well, I mean, we do too here. I don't know. It's different here though because we're dealing with like more of the metaphysical and the unseen realms. But I mean, as I always say, this stuff always. It all comes together and it's all intertwined. So yeah, 9 watchers. Another monster, Eddie, Rob, RR. What's going on, guys? Good to see you guys. A Soul Assassin. Just another red shirt. Thanks for I saw that Drew. He said backstage brought you in here, so I'm glad to see you here. Citizen, what's going on, Citizen? Hunting Bigfoot. That would be
Red Shirt watches all the other stuff that we're all on, so I think he may as well pop in here too because he watches. He sees me on Comics Division stream when he's in there, and he's kind of pulling double duty modding, and Red Shirt's all over the place because he's modding on Friday Night Tights and stuff, and whatnot. So he's all over, and he usually hangs out when I'm live with Wes and everything else, and when I
Hey,
do my
what is this
Tuesday show.
comment, Drew? Wes, his channel got nuked. They took him
Yeah,
down.
so Wes's original channel,
I
Wes
remember
Moody's
like way back
original channel,
when.
it got nuked, and he
Right.
started a channel called Whatever Cast. And
Okay.
I actually streamed with Wes last night. We did a conspiracy on his conspiracy channel that he made. But Whatever Cast is Wes's new main channel. That's his kind of jack of all trades channel. And then of course he does conspiracy on a
Right.
specialized channel. But it's one of those things where YouTube is we listen, we know what their affiliation is, we know who they support, and we know who they don't
Well,
support.
yeah.
And unfortunately, to a large degree, they don't support many of us. So
No, unfortunately, they do not.
yes. So it's the risky run with running afoul of Mama Susan, but I'm happy to take that risk because I like telling the truth.
I might not be monetized anymore anyway, so who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, it's whatever. You gotta say what you gotta say, and there's got to be some way of getting information out there. And
that's right.
as long as we're not pulled down yet, I mean, Wes found a way around it, so you do what you can. There's another channel I follow all the time called man, this guy has had more channels taken down than I think anyone on YouTube. His channel is some version of Call for an Uprising. It's a Christian channel dealing with prophetic stuff, goes after the occult and all that stuff. But he's had, I don't know how many channels, 10, 11 channels taken down, and he just keeps starting new ones with, like a different number or a slightly different spelling, or, and that's his way around it. Like he can't get monetized because after a while he gets flagged, taken down inevitably, but he just keeps making them. If you guys don't know that channel, you should really check it out. I've mentioned that channel before on this show, but again, it's Call for an Uprising, some version of it. Just search it. I think you'd be able to find it. I've heard what he said in his videos that it's even tough. They've even fixed the algorithm or messed with the algorithm where if you type his name in, it doesn't always come up. Like his channel won't come up. So you might have to do a little searching, but he's there. Maybe I'll try to find it while we talk about it.
I want to say, it's great to see so many of the audience return.
Yeah. I'm shocked.
awesome.
I didn't think we'd have anyone.
I see you, Matthew Mittens, and Galpert's Dog, and Keck, and Tony, aka Rip Curry, Blue Eyed Rip Curry in the bass. What's going on? Rob's Rules is here. Pavlog's dog catcher costume. I like it. Soul Assassin's in the house. What up, Soul Assassin? And of course the wonderful RR Chief Eddie and all of our regulars. Another Monsters here. Abandon's here. So happy for the turnout, guys. It's a great way to welcome back Final Death Star. It really is. And I know.
Yeah, I really thought. This was a kind of last minute thing. I mean, I was sort of thinking about, but it was kind of just a last minute thing. And I thought, no one's even going to know it's been 6 months.
Rob's Rules. Yes. The Wes Moody webcast channel is gone. It's Whatever Cast is Wes's new channel. If you just type in the word Whatever Cast, you can find Wes. Chief Eddie.
Chief Eddie.
But yeah, all right. So you want to get into talking some crazy stuff?
Yeah. There's so many different things to talk about since the 6 months ago. But
all right, well, let's share. Let's share these first couple videos.
Yeah, let's watch these videos first.
We'll do the glowing lights over Jonesboro, Arkansas first, and then we'll do the disc on Dorcam in Warren, Massachusetts. So this is the glowing lights from Jonesboro. As always, what we say, folks, is, you look at this and you decide for yourself what this may be. And let me kind of bring it up in full screen so you can see it a little bit better. All right. And we have playing audio. Here we go.
Ooh, that they look like the orbs I saw over
No,
Joshua Tree.
the person with the camera is not doing any favors, though. And of
Mm,
course, it's a crap camera. Look how grainy this is. But you can
yeah,
clearly see the lights. This is very similar to an object I described to Jason that I saw probably about 6, 7 months ago, where I told you I
yeah.
saw that weird round sort of lit up thing,
I
almost
remember that.
almost looked like one of those remotes,
Right.
that Luke was doing the lightsaber training with.
The
And
blaster. Well, no, it wasn't a blaster. Was it blaster droid? What were they
mhm.
called? The
but this
training. Yeah,
had
the training.
but this was had a similar lighting to it, and a very interesting.
Kind of looks
Where,
like it's pulsating a little bit.
hmm
I don't know if it's just the camera, picking that up, but
No, these are definitely different, and and um, and I don't think these are Chinese lanterns, folks. So I
no,
know
I
somebody
don't
will
think so.
probably inevitably say, "Oh, those could be Chinese lanterns." I don't think so. There's a definite spread to them, as you can see from the wide
Yeah.
shot there.
Yep. They're too far apart. Is it moving there? Yeah, it is moving, huh?
hmm So
Well, they don't. Chinese lanterns don't move that fast either. That thing looked like it was moving at a pretty decent pace there.
yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, I would say that's not. Yeah, that looks like something. Not lanterns. They definitely look like orbs in the sky.
So again, this is Jonesboro, Arkansas, folks. May 6th of 2022 was the reference date for this video, and as soon as this one's done, we'll move on to the next. Wow, that does have pretty interesting independent movement on it.
Right? Yeah. And that's not a lantern.
It's
Lanterns don't
definitely
move like that.
moving.
It's moving almost. Yeah, it's definitely moving, and like straight horizontal. A lantern you think would be floating up as it moves, right? As the air
Yes,
kind of catches it and pushes it up.
yes,
This thing's moving horizontal.
yes. You can follow it. It's moving at a horizontal track.
Yep,
So that was the
it's a good
one
one.
from Jonesboro, folks. So
Alfred
let's
asked
go.
if their movement is independent from each other. Yeah, it looked like the two of them were kind of more still while the other one
Yeah.
was moving.
All right. So are we full screen on this other one now?
No, it's still the. Wait, did you say? Is it the same?
This is the this should be the door cam.
What's up, Hex Alien? Welcome.
Did it pull
It
up,
didn't.
or is it
No, here. Let me
still
remove
on?
this one. Try it. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it did. I had to remove. Oh no, it didn't. It's the same one.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe
Let me
try to send the other one.
there we go. Let me share the other one, and then we will okay, share screen. Okay. So we'll share this one. This one is a small disc on door cam over Warren, Massachusetts. This is May
Oh,
4th of
ooh.
2022. So interestingly enough, that footage from the orbs in this is only 2 days apart. Take that for what you will. But again, folks, you make up your mind. Let me know what you think this is. And let's play the video.
Oh, whoa, that is strange.
Well, look at the movement at the very
Yeah.
end.
Oh, whoa.
So,
Okay, we gotta play that again.
all right.
Interesting. That thing just shot away.
This is
Oh,
pulsating.
yep.
As you can see, it's pulsating, and then look at the behavior at the end. Boop. There it goes. And
Interesting.
one more time. We'll go one more time. There
Now,
we go.
what's the light like? The sort of light coming from below and above it.
A scanning beam, perhaps? I don't
That's
know.
yeah. I wonder if that's light just because it's so bright, or if it's like scanning something.
And then the interesting thing to me is the way that it just shoots away right here. It's like, does what it's doing and then
Yeah,
boom.
and then just yeah shoots off. Huh.
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
So,
I think those are both pretty legit because
so share
that's
your theories. Share your theories in the chat, folks, and
yeah.
let's see what people thought of that.
I am using a green screen. Yeah, I know you don't have to anymore on Streamlabs. You don't or Streamyards. You don't have to use one, but I am using a green screen because I've just always had one. So 5 minutes. Warren, Massachusetts is 5 minutes from your house. You ever catch anything like that up in the sky?
Yeah.
Start looking.
Hey, I
Yeah.
like to know the new name,
Yes.
TurboGrafx Tobat. I like it. I like the new name. It's very
Joe
fitting.
Biden. Joe Biden sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, am I getting kicked off for saying that? Are we allowed to say that?
No.
No.
It's
No.
like the gas prices. I did that.
Oh, yeah. Right. Right. Yeah.
Uh,
Everything's gone up since
yeah, Soul Assassin,
Lazy Joe.
we're gonna pull that up just next. You're giving away all our topics.
Well, that's a popular one. That's been making the rounds.
Yeah.
That one.
Um,
Flashlight? You think it's a flashlight that shoots off? I don't know. It's a pretty big flashlight though, because in comparison to the car that's right,
I
kind of
don't know
next to
about
it.
that
I
was
don't
dish
know.
shaped.
Yeah.
That was definitely dish shaped, and there was a pulsation to it.
Yeah.
So you know,
Yeah. It would have to be like an oval
in
flashlight.
the way that it shot off like it did, it's just yeah, it was crazy. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, that's exactly where these UFOs always go because there's nothing there in Warren, Massachusetts. They always go to the remote areas. Well,
the
not always. I mean, there are some.
the thing is, somebody said, somebody said that was cigarettes. The
Yeah,
other one,
cigarettes in the dark.
cigarettes in the dark while I'm drunk. You said Galford's dog. Nice.
No, that reminded me of what I saw in Joshua Tree, though. Kind of orange pulsating lights. It's kind of what I filmed that live on Twitter when I was watching that.
Mhm.
So people saw what I was seeing. I mean, it's through a camera, so you didn't exactly see it as well as I was seeing it. But yeah, I streamed it live, and it was kind of like that. They weren't moving though; they were stationary. This one looked like it was moving, but
All right,
otherwise, it's kind of similar.
so here's our next thing that everybody's been talking about. This is a strange image that was captured outside the Amarillo Zoo. This is May 21st. They said around 1:25 a.m. And some people are saying this is a chupacabra. I've also seen some very interesting theories about this. Some people say this could be a werewolf. Some people say that this could be verifiable proof of skinwalkers. I actually found that to be very fascinating because
Yeah,
talking with Bear and people like that and Native people, skinwalkers are a very thing that they take seriously. They definitely believe it. And
yes,
could this be verifiable proof of the skinwalker, or is this a chupacabra? I lean towards the skinwalker theory. Just you know, I mean, I guess the horror movie fan in me wants to believe that it's a
werewolf.
werewolf, but I don't think werewolves are real. I do think skinwalkers
Yeah,
might be.
yeah. I mean, I think the werewolf story probably came from the Skinwalkers.
Mhm.
That's
Another
probably more like
monster.
it.
Another monster said the Wendigo.
Yeah, the
Uh,
Wendigo.
Galford's dog said,
The
aliens love us
Wendigo.
rural folks. They must be watching Earth media and buying into the stereotypes about us being into probing. Soul Assassin says, the last thing you want to mess with is a skinwalker. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I've done plenty of research and shows on the Skinwalker Ranch, and yeah, not a good place. Not a good place to be. This is this. The Wendigo is pretty interesting. I don't think it really has the horns though. Let me show you a picture of this. So, if you guys don't know,
This to me, I really find the skinwalker theory on this intriguing. I really do.
yeah.
Because I wonder about it. The way it's standing, everything.
Oh.
RR says possible government chimera.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an interesting direction.
That's interesting.
RR. I like it.
Yeah. Here's the Wendigo. Okay, that's what these look like. So, something like this. See if I can open it. Yeah, make it bigger. What do you think? Does it look like something like that?
No, that doesn't. That didn't have.
Doesn't have the horns though.
Yeah.
Huh?
Rob's rule said, was that some drunk teen with the mask? Somebody, I don't know if
Yeah.
somebody was being funny, but somebody said that there was a furry convention in that area. So I don't know. I don't know if it was literally Rob. I don't know if it was a drunk person in a furry costume that went there to be funny, that tried to, break into the zoo and mess with the animals.
Yeah.
Because you never know. Because those of you that have gone to conventions before, you know how drunk people do stupid stuff. So I would not be surprised. I would not put that past somebody. But no, just the interesting thing about it, the way that picture is to me, I was very intrigued by the skinwalker thought about it.
Can you bring that picture back up too? Because the legs, I don't think the legs look human. Like they're too skinny. There's something off about the legs.
Let me see.
A furry is the simplest explanation. So, Citizen, in response to your comment here, are you saying that you think they're terrestrial, they're from Earth, but they're not human? Are you saying, they're underneath the ground in the ice, or that they're hybrids that are living among us, or both?
The picture is back. So
yeah, so look at the leg, like how the leg goes up to the waist. It just, I don't know, it doesn't look. And what's the size? It's kind of tough to see how close he is to the fence. He doesn't look that close to the fence. It does look more human, a little taller at least. But I don't know, something about the legs don't look human to me. The way that it kind of bends the knee there. I don't know. Just doesn't look right. Is there a pet cemetery nearby? Yeah, Rocket Raccoon is a pretty good. There's a picture of Rocket Raccoon like in the same pose, and it looked pretty right on. Someone said it was maybe a raccoon trying to climb the fence or about to jump onto the fence, but again, it doesn't seem like. How does a raccoon get up on its hind legs like that?
Rob, this is as big as we can get it. That's as big as I can get the picture.
Underground. Yeah, that's okay. That's what I'm thinking. There was a huge it was warm water rain hitting Antarctica like about a month or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
And there was such a volume of rain that they were suspecting that there might be in the next like 8 years to 10 years that might have caused a chain reaction, which would start melting the ice sheet in Antarctica. And if that started to melt, can you imagine what we would potentially find in Antarctica if the ice sheet melted? Then we could actually go in. Now who knows what they already know and what's already down there is being kept from us. But if it was more openly researched, just Google Earth, people are finding all kind of stuff on Google Earth with Antarctica, with the ice there. If that started melting, can you imagine the stuff that we might find there from our ancient history? Civilizations that lived there at one point that we know nothing about. Sporking did a Hollow Earth stream last week. Really? Oh, that's great. That's cool. It's in Texas. It's Texas, I can guarantee if you put a bounty on a creature, it'll be captured within a year. There you go. That's what we need, a bounty on that thing. You're watching on a wall-sized projector screen? Damn, that's cool. The legs look human to you? Okay. All right. So
So
they look human if it's because I'm just trying to zoom in on
I'm
it.
I'm going personally with the Skinwalker theory. That's where I'm taking it.
Mm.
Rob says it looks very wolf. Yeah, I thought that too. Rob, I really did. Because the thing was you know, and this is as kids we grew up kind of romanticizing, werewolves, mummies, vampires,
Yeah.
things of that nature,
Yeah.
and how cool would it be if there really was werewolves? But um, it does look kind of wolfish, but again, skinwalkers are known for taking those forms.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, they are. The story of Skinwalker Ranch was that there was this giant wolf that was, when it was the second owner of Skinwalker Ranch, when they bought the property,
Mm-hmm.
they came across this giant wolf that was like 6 feet high, on its four legs and
Mm-hmm.
massive. And the suspicion was that it was some kind of skinwalker that had taken a wolf shape, but they can sometimes take sort of a human wolf shape where they're on their hind legs or they're standing up straight.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what if it's Edward from Twilight? Isn't Edward the vampire, or is that not Edward? I don't know. I saw the first Twilight movie, and that was enough for me.
TurboGrafx references Revelation 16:12.
Revelation 16:12. All right, I don't have that one memorized. So I'm gonna look it up.
Rob's Rules said, did they report any animals hurt or anything? According to the city of Amarillo, there wasn't anything that the zoo reported. So very interesting.
Okay, Revelation 16:12. The sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and its waters dried up to prepare the way from the kings of the east. Yeah, that's the Euphrates drying up, and that's one of the bowl judgments in the tribulation period. I'm not sure, Toolbat, how that are you referencing? What are you referencing? I mean, yeah, that's going to happen at some point. Yep. But did they report any animals hurt or anything? That's a good question. I don't think they did.
No, not to my knowledge.
Yeah, I didn't hear of anything, but yeah.
Because
Hey,
I
Adrian. What's going on, Adrian?
I looked into this, and yeah, there wasn't any reports of like animals eaten or things like that happening. So I don't know. TurboGrafx says aliens, creatures, and paranormal is all a deception. The end is here. These creatures are demons, and the river is drying up now.
Oh, okay.
I do want to say, with the amount of wickedness in the world and everything else, yes, there are definitely demons present. The demonic forces are at an all-time high at the moment. But on the other hand, I say this, and again, I have a unique perspective, folks, because I kind of am able to separate the religious from the science. And I ask the question all the time from a scientific standpoint, because to steal the line from season 1 of Star Trek Picard, it's sheer fucking hubris on our part if we think that, we know everything there is to know about every single species of animal and life on our planet. I mean, it'd be incredibly short-sighted of us to think we know all that there is. The Earth has so many wondrous secrets, so it stands to reason that not every species is cataloged, and that is why I make the case for like, you take a cryptid like the Sasquatch, for example. I really think it's an uncatalogued species. Now, there's reports that it has maybe possibly some mystical qualities, some otherworldly qualities about it. But the bottom line is, it's a species that hasn't necessarily been cataloged yet, and this could be the same thing. Most cryptids are, and this
But do you
this
think
is
it's a natural species, though? If you're saying, if you're saying it has interdimensional or some kind of, super, I don't say superhuman, but hyperdimensional powers, you think that's a species that just hasn't been listed that has this naturally, or are you saying this is a genetic alteration or something created by somebody else? Which would be the Nephilim?
Hmm,
What are you thinking, Drew?
well, here's the thing too. God gave so many species extraordinary gifts and abilities. Okay, and I know we haven't talked about it in depth on the stream, really, where we talked about tapping into your pineal gland and things like that.
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother show. Yeah.
But the thing is, I mean, now think about it. The just within us as human beings, we have so much we don't know about our own brains, and imagine if we unlock that, and that area, your pineal gland, is a whole nother level, folks. That's a whole nother level of enlightenment
Yeah.
and everything else, because you're tapping into what is generally perceived as your next level ability as a human. And for a lot of people, the most common thing is being having a naturally powerful empathic ability. The next thing, some people have clairvoyance, some people have extrasensory perception, some people, the list goes on. But so many people have different gifts. They have different gifts, and they were given to us by God. So God wanted us to have these.
Or another way of looking at it is we were originally meant to have these. The fallen world we live in, because of the corruption, put us at risk by using these abilities to contact things that we're not supposed to be contacting. So God then calcified the pineal gland, or put a veil over our eyes to keep us from looking into this stuff because of the corruption, the evil that is on the other side. I mean, I think it's probably a mixture of the two. We were created to have better abilities to do more, but in the Garden of Eden, and then things happened. The Genesis 6, where the fallen ones came down to earth, corrupted the seed of man, created the offshoot, the offspring, their offspring, and the fall of Adam and Eve in the garden originally. Because of that, we were no longer able to deal with these evil entities, and we were at risk. So God put kind of the wool over our eyes to protect us
and
stopped us from having some of these abilities.
Keck 44 at 12:15 a.m. says, "We know what gift Drew was given. Beware the Drew." Nice. Another monster that says the only way we can unlock it is with Elon's plugs, perhaps, because some, I believe RR was making the point that we're never going to unlock it if Elon puts a plug in the back of our heads. And
yeah,
the thing is, folks, honestly, and to not to dwell on the subject, because we're on our normal fare of kind of sticking with cryptids and UFOs and paranormal tonight. But when you're talking about extrasensory gifts, and I can say this because, I had an experience where, you can find out what you have. If you tap into your pineal gland, something very profound will happen to you, and it will manifest itself in some form or fashion. So the way that I found out is I was at a crowded club one night. There, go figure. I was out for karaoke. And I know some of you are laughing at the whole Asians and karaoke thing. I get it, but I was out with some friends. We were going
How
to
dare they?
karaoke one night, and so I went and I walk into the place, and all of a sudden, I get past a certain point in the establishment, and then bam, you know, I almost went down to like one knee because I had a wave of emotion hit me so hard that it literally knocked me back. And the thing was like, it wasn't just like one emotion. It was like being able to feel the emotion of, certain all these different people in the room. It ran the gamut. It was the weirdest feeling in the world because it ran the gamut, like feeling happiness, sadness, all kinds of things that you can imagine all at once. And no, I wasn't drunk. I wasn't high. I was completely stone sober. So, the thing of it was that was the first instance of, the sort of empathic ability, like unlocking and manifesting itself. And then I continued to do my due diligence on this, and and realized that yes, when you do get a certain manifestation like that, and you find out that you have an ability per se, whatever that may be, then what you can do is, you do your due diligence about it, you learn about it, and then you learn how to make that a strength in your life and use it for to for the betterment of humanity. And that's what's so good about it, about having a keen empathic sense, because I can pass by somebody and I can tell without them uttering a word that they're, in distress or need just somebody need a kind word or need, someone to understand. And that's the beauty of it. And you can use something like that to help people. Now, again, empathic ability is usually one of the ones that's most common. The other one, obviously, being not clairvoyance. So what's the other one? Something along the lines of clairvoyance. Though. But the thing is it's not necessarily a power. I think it's just a natural extension of our humanity. I think everybody has that. Because when you hear people talk about the chakras, for example, your third eye chakra, it's as simple as thinking about it in this light, folks, having your third eye open. And, we all hit a point or something triggers it, or a life event where your third eye will open. If that's
Drew, you also had, you've shared your story, your ghost story before too, where you,
and that was well after that. So, and it was
maybe that's why you were open to it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it hit you like that. Like
because a lot of people, once they unlock their pineal gland, essentially, what happens is, hey, Jay, Drunk 3PO's here. The other Jay. Yay.
Drunk 3PO, dude. Where have you been? I've just been busy, man. Just been busy. I'm good, though. It's everything's good. Just impromptu stream. Wanted to get back on and say hi to everyone. Good to see you, Jay, man. I've missed you. I've missed you, buddy. I've been following up with you guys, though. I'm watching all the streams and the videos.
But when you unlock your pineal gland, when you use when you have that third eye open per se, and people talk all the time about like that's when they're able to necessarily, when you walk into a place that quote has spirit activity, that's when you can feel them. That's when you can have tangible experiences with them. So
Yeah, well, and that's not. Look, there's different trains of thought on this too. As to some people are just born with, that ability, or their pineal gland is less calcified. There's ways to decalcify it if you want, and explore that. This is a good point. Tolbat brought this up because we're talking about these abilities, right? And this is prophetic in the last days. This Acts 2:17. In the last days, God says, "I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your young men will see visions, and your old men will dream dreams." And this is something that's not often talked about, especially in the churches. The
mhm.
what happened in the past with the abilities of the first century church, right? And then
Mhm.
after that, but you have this belief that all these miracles just kind of happened back in the first century, and then they kind of went away, and nothing, and things didn't happen. So were these, what is it that changed? Why don't we have these again? And it is like I think we have had the ability, like we're talking about, Drew, all along. I do
Yeah.
believe that, as the scripture says, these things will intensify as things draw
As
closer to God's
we're
plan
we're
of the end times,
we're
because
some
he has a
we're
mission.
we're some of the most wondrous creatures God ever created. And again, as we were talking about the amount of life that is teeming on this planet, just in the sheer amount of things that we don't know yet. Well, it's the same about us, as a creation, as a species. We don't even know what there is to know about ourselves, and there's a lot of wonder.
We don't even know our own history, honestly, like the
Yeah,
world's history,
there,
humanity's
there's
history.
a
There's a lot covered up from us.
there's a lot of wonder to what God um, created when He created us. Think about it. We are a wonder, and that's why they say you should treat your body as a temple. That is exactly why.
Yeah, and as the world starts to get dimmer and darker, and I mean, geez, we see it. We've been seeing this happen over the last couple years at, I mean, breakneck speed. I think this is where we're starting to see more of the supernatural stuff. And I say that, it is supernatural because it's beyond our natural perception, but you're starting to see science explain some of this stuff, or starting to hypothesize about alternate dimensions and hyperdimensions. And there's now, I'm seeing more and more people in ufology are talking about, well, these aliens and UFOs are maybe not really from another planet, but maybe they are from another dimension. That's now
Mhm.
starting to get out there. It's starting to get into
Yeah,
the popular way of thinking about these things, and what they are, where they're from. And I mean, this stuff is, in my opinion, it's explained that that's the supernatural. That's the other dimensions. That's the third heavens. The second and third heavens the Bible speaks of are the other dimensions. So now you're seeing science and culture and ufology starting to kind of trend with what the Bible's been saying all along, which is, it's interesting how you have this view of the Bible in the past as like, oh well, that was way back then, and they weren't as intelligent as we are now. Yet in many
mhm.
ways, I think we're de-evolving. I think we're repeating some of the stuff that happened prior, in
Right.
in the Bible, in the Old Testament, as far as the right here transhumanism. As far as some of this stuff with mixing genetics,
Yeah.
altering our genome to mix with animals. I mean, there's DARPA's working on, I mean, there's all kind of super soldier type. There was just an article that just came out, I saw it yesterday, about trying to mix a human with an ape
Eh, Yeah.
for military purposes, to create some sort of super human being, which is, again, that's right out of Genesis 6. That's what the Nephilim were. We're
Jay
repeating, and the Bible talks about that. It says
Jay
in the
makes
end
a
times it'll be a repeat of that.
Jay makes a great point from his time in Haiti. He says, when I lived in Haiti, there was a lot of
Yeah.
supernatural healing and provision that I did not see in the
Hmm.
United States. You wonder if countries that are in poverty see God's miracles a lot more than we do. You know,
Jay, I think
Jay,
you're 100% right, man. It's
yeah, I
that's
agree.
100%. People are more open to it there.
Blessed are the
Are
meek.
Yeah,
Blessed are the
yeah,
meek. Blessed are
yeah.
the meek.
And I
Yes.
mean, what's the Bible say? Thinking yourselves wise, you are fools. You
Hmm.
know, the more we rely on what we think of the world, our own intellect, the less we're open to those kind of things, and the more we're just quicker to just shut that out and try to explain it away or pretend it didn't really happen because I'm sure there's some explanation for it. Where some of these other countries that are not as well off, they're way more open to it. They're more open spiritually. A lot of them are more, especially
Yes.
yeah, in Haiti, I'm sure Jay, you know this too. There's a big occultic movement, voodoo, and that's very
Yeah.
popular there too. So they're connected to just the spiritual realm, whether it's on one
On
side
one
or the
side or
other.
the other.
Yeah, on one side or the other, but they're very connected to that and they're very open to it. And I don't think we have that here in the States. In a lot of ways, for as it's funny. Is it a blessing or a curse that we are in America in this time period that we're in,
Well,
and we
we've
have
turned
all of these
we've turned
freedoms, and this
away
ability?
we've turned away from loving our neighbor. We've turned away from helping our neighbor. You know,
Yeah.
we've
Hmm.
turned away from just you know being the best that humanity could be. We've turned away from that, and so much wickedness, especially in Western society, has creeped in, and you can see it. Listen, I talk about as I talked about with tapping into the pineal gland and having your third eye open. Some of the most awesome people that also have tapped in to having that sort of empathic gift. The ones that I've met, fellow empaths. Sure, there's a lot of them on the wicked side of humanity, but there is a lot of them that are fellow Christians. And I've had the wonderful fortune to, meet these people, and we get to talk, and the next thing you know, we start to talk about this, and then there you meet somebody that has a similar experience and a similar thing, and they're just like, wow, I never knew. It's interesting that we were drawn together, and again, well, God draws us together, and that's one of the things that's wonderful about it. If you
Yeah.
rely on all of this technology and rely on these on drugs and substances that if you're not treating your body like a temple, if you're going and wrecking yourself, or if you're being extraordinarily callous or wicked to others,
Mm.
yeah, largely you won't experience things like this. It's when you have a good spirit, when you have that sort of uh, wanting to do good, is when you really can experience all this. And that's what I think is the important thing. We have turned so much away from being good to one another. We really have.
Yeah. Well, here, look, I pulled this up here. Let me just take this down for a second. So this is again talking about the end times. This is from the New Testament, Second Timothy, third chapter, verse 1-5. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truth breakers, false accusers. I mean, it just goes on. Fierce despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. I mean, that's what we were just talking about. Look at society right now. It's. I mean, you could say these things have been throughout history. And it's true. I mean, traits of like these kind of traits can
People,
be
yeah,
shown
right.
throughout history, but
Because
at this level, on a global scale, on a
how
global
many clips
scale.
how many clips, Jason, are we seeing daily? Just people doing the most wicked of things, robbing, killing,
Mhm.
constantly. And it's just,
Yeah.
lawlessness and wickedness have taken over. And this is why, it's important that if you are enlightened and awakened not only to what's going on in the world, but if you have some sort of ability that that you have, um, treat your fellow humans with care. Do the best you can while you're here. Be good, be kind, because it's so important to balance out all of this negative that has come in, all of this wickedness that has come in, all of this whispering from the devil that has come in. And there is. I was just there couple weeks ago, folks. Devil was whispering to me. I had honestly, and my situation, that I am in the most dire of situations to where, yeah, I'm probably not going to make. I'm probably going to lose everything, but I let it get to me. And in that weakness, the devil slipped in and he said, "You know what? You can end all your problems now. You know how? Just stop. Just give it up. Just take,
Yeah. See, that's whispering in
take
your ear.
yourself out of this world." Devil was whispering to me, and you know what? It's like Soul Assassin said. It clicked in his mind to reach out. People reached out because they just knew. It was uncanny. They knew. And it wasn't just because I tweeted. This was even, I had comments even before I tweeted it, which was crazy. But, it's just, I'm glad that I was able to overcome that, because I realize now fully well that the devil was whispering to me, and that had I done that, I was just taking away a voice, another voice that is shouting the devil down and fighting for humanity. I'm taking away another voice by doing that. And it was incredibly selfish if I would have done that. So I know that the devil was whispering in my ear, and I'm so thankful again for all of you folks in the audience. RR and another monster, Tech and Jay. Just for your incredible kindness, and Soul Assassin. Just for your friendship and fellowship. That's what I'm thankful for. So yeah,
Yeah, the devil comes to you when you're at your weakest, And Jay, I'm going to get to
really
your question in a
was.
second. Yeah, comes
It
to you when
really
you're at your
was.
weakest.
And it's funny. It's funny
That's
you
when you
say
have to
that.
put on. That's when you have to put on your armor, the armor
That's
of God.
Well, it's funny you say that, Jason, because yeah, it's true. Because the situation hasn't changed. I'm still in super dire straits. I probably will lose everything, but you know
Yeah.
what? My perspective changed. That's what was important, because I kept my perspective.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's one thing as long as you have the ability to guard that, it's the one thing that no one can take from you. Your perspective, your response to things. You can't control the things that happen to you in life, but you can control your response to them. You
Yeah,
can't control your first thought, but you can control your second thought. We all have the first instinct, that first reaction, but you can control the second one. You can't control that first one. You can't control the circumstances that you're in all the times, but you can control how you respond to those circumstances. Okay, so yeah, let's. Jay asked, "Do you think that lawlessness was worse in Rome than in America?" Real question. So Jay, this is very good question, because this
I think
also
we're
ties in.
neck and neck right now.
Yeah, it ties into prophecy. There's many verses that kind of indicate at the end times there'll be a revised, reestablished Roman Empire. A lot of people have made that connection to America. You know, I don't necessarily, I have my own thoughts of what that might be. I can see the connection though, but I do think we are trending just about at the same place that Rome was when Rome had its downfall. You know, there's certain elements of the culture in Rome, the hedonism, the immorality, sexual immorality, that we're following. You know, we're neck and like Drew said, we're kind of neck and neck with them. So I don't know. Now we're not quite at the throwing Christians in the Colosseum, be devoured by lions. We're not quite there yet. The gladiators were allowed to kill. Yet we have MMA and the UFC, which is pretty brutal. It's not exactly the same. I get it.
Yeah, but
I enjoy watching the UFC, so maybe I'm at fault there too. But we're getting pretty close to that.
But
and in some ways,
Christians are under attack. Christians are under attack around the world.
Yes,
and it's only gone up, Jason. It's only gone up. So I mean, it's a concern. Yeah, there's Christians being killed around the world, and nobody's standing up for it and saying, this is wrong. So many people that believe in God right now are making the ultimate sacrifice because they're being persecuted, and still, they are, hopefully the wickedness will not prevail.
Well, that's, yeah, I mean, there will be a time where it does prevail, but it's being allowed to prevail, and it's only going to happen for a short period of time. Until then, in my opinion, prophetically speaking, according to, what the Bible says in the end times, there's a restrainer in the world, that is holding back evil to an extent, holding back these forces. This is why, this is where I get into how I think it ties into the alien phenomenon. Why is it always this cat and mouse game? They show up, they disappear. Why don't they just show up, land over our major cities, and say, if they have this technology, why not just come out with it? The culture already believes in them for the most part. There's more people who believe in aliens than they do God at this point. So, that job is done. The belief of the world is there. So why not just show up, because I don't think they're aliens from another planet, or there could be a mixture of this, but I do think there is an evil to this, and while this restrainer which would be the Holy Spirit, the ecclesia in the Greek, which is the church, and not a specific church or denomination, just the believers of Christ in general, that's holding this, restraining this evil from really manifesting fully on earth. But that is taken away at some point, and this evil will manifest fully. It's intensifying as we see, the church and the church leaders getting their voices getting smaller and smaller, and it's starting to intensify. And there will be a time where it does take over the world, and there'll be a rise of an antichrist figure, which will be the antithesis of everything Christ did. He's going to do the exact opposite of that, and it's going to be the worst time in history on earth. And I see it just seems like we're heading there. Everything's lining up, to get to that point. But in the end, we've got the return of Christ, of Jesus.
Back. In the Catholic faith, just a week ago, we had the Feast of Pentecost, and and it was wonderful. That's the day I decided to go back to Mass. It's just, and it's so, just the wonderful coincidence that I chose that day to go back to church. But but there is
Pentecost is drawing closest to God, when God comes and
the tongues of fire
draws close to you,
the Holy celebrating the Holy Spirit. But but there's an attack coming close. There's an attack on Christians and on the churches. When COVID hit, they wanted churches to shut down. The government does not have the right to tell churches to shut down. Yeah, deranged lunatic, exactly. And I know that somebody else made the good point that even the churches are infiltrated by evil. Soul Assassin made that point. And the thing is that is true. Okay, you pay attention, and those of you that are
Hmm.
also fellow Catholics like I am, okay, you pay attention just to what Pope Francis has done, his pattern of behavior, the fact that he allowed groups to come and put pagan symbols at the Vatican, have a pagan ritual at the Vatican. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. And by the way, thank you so much to Jason for sharing that
Yeah.
in the chat. If you
Yeah.
could
If
consider
you guys are
sharing
able to,
share that link, or if you can find it in your heart to please help donate to Mom's Memorial Fund. As it stands right now, I still have to pay her final expenses yet. All the money I made so far, I put towards because I started off nearly, don't forget folks, $4,000 in the hole, unbeknownst to me, and thankfully I was able to catch up the mortgage finally, and I've cut that down to about being $600 in the hole across the utilities. But the unfortunate shortfall that my mom had, I didn't know the extent of it, but I was able to pay a lot of that down largely. And I've gotten through the past couple months, but things have just gotten to the point where the money has just it's dried up, and I'm in a dire situation. I have $189 to my name. That's no lie, and I'm not going to make it through the month or moving forward. So anything that can even just sharing this out, because you never know what eyes it'll get in front of, is doing a huge service and a huge help. So thank you. And
yeah, it's, you know,
I just want to say real quick about drunk 3PO. I'm happy to say this about Jay because just in the few interactions that I've had with Jay, just talking to him on Twitter and stuff, Jay is one of the finest humans that I've had the opportunity to speak with, and just his actions tell you that he cares about humanity. He's one of the best of humanity, and he's humble, and that's what I appreciate so much about Jay. And Jay, I know we don't talk often, but I have the highest amount of respect for you, sir, and God bless you for what you do for people. Thank you so much.
wow, well said. Yeah, and I mean, it was in the dark times that that God always shows up, and I mean that's the trend. He set the roadmap for the future. And he will indeed show up again in the darkest time in history, which hasn't happened yet. It's his future event, but it is. Well, and also the thing is, like, although he physically left, his spirit is still here. His spirit never left, uh,
Mhm.
and it will be here until the church is taken out and the full tribulation happens. But yeah, I mean, he's never really left. His spirit is still here.
No, I hope that more good people ascend to leadership, at least in my faith and in the Catholic faith. I want reform in the church. We need reform in our church so badly, and we need Pope Francis out of there. I fully believe, by the way, Pope Francis
Well,
really,
see,
really,
I think that ties into the revived Roman Empire right there.
yeah, in what the way that they really did Pope Benedict dirty. Um,
Yeah.
that was another thing, because he got old and he became more infirm, and they just tossed him off for the side for Pope Francis, and you know and Pope Francis is I fully believe he is a false prophet, and I know there's some people that look
Well,
at me and say, oh, that's terrible to say about your Pope, but yeah, listen, I'm Catholic, sure, but I will call out wickedness when I see it, and everything that's in me instinctually tells me that that man is not holy. He is not on the
there,
side of God.
again, there's a prophecy about the false prophet that will lead into the Antichrist, and give power to the beast, the Antichrist, and vouch for him, and for someone to have that kind of power and pull with the world, on such a level that it'll get enough people on this planet believing that this Antichrist is, indeed a savior of sorts, a false Messiah. It would have to be someone with high authority and what is viewed as moral righteousness. And I mean, hey, look, the Pope position of the Pope uh, is a pretty good guess. Now whether it's Francis or not, it's yet to be seen. Although if you go by the prophecy of the popes that was written 500 years ago or so by the Malachi, who was a Catholic priest. He had a vision of every pope that would sit until the end days, the last days, and the last pope on the list is the number that Francis, is now occupies. It is his. He is the last on the list. So, I don't know. Is there a connection there? Is that tie in? I think it's a pretty, pretty strong coincidence that we're in the state of the world right now, which seemingly is lining up towards what the Bible indicates as the last days. And you have this prophecy, the popes, that lists the final popes or all the popes from the time of Malachi until the end. And it also ends the last one on the list is this current pope. So the coincidence there is very strong. So we don't know for sure, but I think it's not going to take too long to find out. Yeah, let's see. It's okay. Drew, we'll be right back in a minute. No fate, but what we make. We can't control external events, but we can choose how we respond to them. Is what truly defines us. Are not bloodlines nor our abilities. Yeah, I mean that's exactly what I was. Yeah, that's exactly right. We can't control everything around us and what happens to us in the world. I mean this is obviously evident to just living, but it's in all the wisdom and ancient manuscripts as well that bad things are just going to happen because we live in this fallen world that's not what was originally intended for it to be. But we can control how we respond to them. We can't control the first thought that comes out of our head about things, but we can control the second and therefore the rest of how we respond. There's Jay being all modest again. No one's special, bro. Well, Jay, there's a lot of no one specials out there doing amazing things. So I'll say that the night is darkest just before dawn. Yeah, Harvey Dent. Yeah, that's true, right? I mean, and that is again these sayings. There's a reason these sayings ring true to humanity because there's truth to it. And Toolbat, I know you talk about the Euphrates drying up, and yes, I know that is true. The Euphrates is starting to dry up, which is it is again that's in prophecy. The Bible says Euphrates will dry up in the end times, and it is actually drying up. So, again, interesting coincidence. We all need to collectively say no to this evil. We're all on the same team. Yeah, 100%. Another monster says, I bet Drunk 3PO smells better than most. Smells better than most. What kind of stream is this turning into here? I have been brought up to believe once the church is taken out, then evil will be fully released on earth, as the only thing holding back is the church. Well, yeah, that's that's their strain. That's what Paul talked about in the epistles. See, when he was talking about the that'd be like the rapture of the church or the it's known as the catching away, being caught up, being harpazo. In the Greek, it's the harpazo. We've translated that word. It got translated in the Latin to the rapitore, which I forget how you pronounce it. Rapitore, I think, is the harpazo in Latin, and then we took that word to mean rapture. But in the Bible, it's called the harpazo, the forceful catching away or snatching away of the church. And yeah, then it's free game on earth for evil to really do its thing. So it's not Biden or Trudeau. Hey, no, it's not Biden. Trudeau, I don't think so. There's a lineage. There's a lineage in the Bible to what the Antichrist should be from one of the former kingdoms of the world. So it's either Rome or Greek. I think it's going to tie into Greek, but we'll see. There's a lot of theories.
Old Joe can't even remember the last time he went to the bathroom. So it's
remember, he's
going to
come across as a good guy. At first, you're going to think he's going to have all the answers. We're talking about the Antichrist here for anyone who's not who's lost in the conversation here. The Antichrist will seem like he's the good guy. He's going to seem like he's got the answers. He's for the people. He's for the world. Some people think Elon is a candidate because he's going against all the world elitist. And he's seemingly a good guy and a man for the people. But yet, he's pushing AI. He's pushing the what's it called? The chip Neuralink. He's pushing the Neuralink, which is transhumanism. Which is control of you. So, I'm always split on Elon.
Well, I don't know again, think about this. Okay, it's the carrot versus the stick. Now, the WEF types, the globalists, the people in the cabal, they're using the stick. Okay, Elon's using the carrot. Mm-hmm. So just be aware. And listen, there's a reason why, folks, we put our faith in Christ. We put our faith in God because, you put your faith in another man. You don't worship another man. You worship your Creator. And that is why we put our faith in God. Yeah. And that's what's wonderful about having faith.
Well, remember, Deranged Lunatic here, the Muslims are also waiting for the Mahdi to come, which is their version of the leader in the end times, the last days, their version of a Messiah. So could the Antichrist have some sort of Muslim lineage? It's possible. We don't know for sure, but yeah, there are going to have to be things still worked out. But there's also other prophecies that indicate that the Middle East won't be what the Middle East is right now by that time. So we'll see. Mm-hmm. It's indicated that it's said straight out that what's the city? It's the oldest city in the world. It will be reduced to rubble in one day. It's the oldest active city. It's a continuing. What's it? I'm thinking of here. I can think of it now. Damascus. Damascus will be reduced to a ruinous heap in the matter of a day, which seems to indicate some sort of bomb hitting it. And we've already seen it being reduced. I mean, look at you can see pictures, aerial footage online of Damascus. It's a shell of what it once was, but it's gonna get worse, unfortunately. So, we don't know what the state of the Muslim world will be at that time, but they're also waiting for their Mahdi. So they've got their prophecies too, which are, they're close to the Judeo-Christian prophecies. It's kind of alternative in some ways, or antithesis in some ways, but it's pretty close. So, the globalists are sure faith is the other way to know. Faith is the other way to know. And I'm trying to show these comments. My computer's also here. We go. And we can make this world better. Actions by actions, deed by deed. We got to be the light. Be a light on a hill. Yeah. It's supposed to be the light on the hill. Yeah, I've seen the writing on the wall. Yeah, very interesting stuff. I know, Chief. I know, very interesting stuff. Yep. It's an Iron Maiden, their latest single. Yeah, I know. I was very intrigued by that video. Well, they write about Steve writes a lot about that, about religion and prophecy and stuff. They're very interested by that. Death is busy, friends. My grandmother, then my cousin, then just last Sunday, my wife's father. Death is stinging us all. Oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that. your friend's grandmother, and then your cousin, and then your wife's father. Man, I'm sorry. That's terrible.
You know,
Yeah, well,
you,
yeah, that's terrible.
TurboGrafx, they always say, Tobat, that
Jeez, man, that's a
things
lot to deal with.
bad things,
Well, know this
especially,
though, death is not the end. It's, I mean, I think it's
yeah,
pretty clear to a lot of people now that even
it's
science
a
is showing
step.
that
It's
we
a
don't
step
really
on
die.
the.
We don't really end when we die. We
It's a
go
step
on.
on the journey. It's a step on the journey. But the thing is,
Yep.
they always say that untimely deaths come in threes, and it's. I'm so sorry. You have my condolences and my prayers, Tobat. I'm so sorry that that's happened. So
Yeah, it comes in threes, right? That's a common. Yeah,
know that you have my condolences and prayers, my
this is a
friend.
good comment too. Uh, Technological life forms are even more fragile than us. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, why do you
All it
think
takes
that?
is a solar flare or radiation burst to wipe out all the technology on Earth. Yeah,
Yes.
blackouts, right?
Why do you think the worst thing that they say could happen, folks? Think about this. What's the biggest concern that people have right now? An attack on the grid. An attack on the grid.
Yep.
So if we
Yep.
got hit with a massive
They've been
EMP
saying it for
device,
decades. Mm-hmm.
whatever, we would go immediately back to the dark ages, literally. So, so just remember to prepare accordingly. Um, you know, surround yourself with good energy. Be good to your fellow man, and
Huh?
let's perpetuate the good of humanity, because we are going to have to band together, because eventually we will be in a battle for survival. That
Yeah.
is coming.
Yeah. Eventually,
That
it
is
seems like we're
coming.
headed that way.
And I can tell you, just in real world talk, because you folks know what you get on my channel. You get politics of current events. Okay, even with this gun legislation that just went through the Senate, which, by the way, you know, uh, jot down the names of the Republicans that jumped on board, and I will point this out on Tuesday. A lot of those, by the way, that did uh, push that legislation through are lame ducks. They're not coming back. So they decided to screw us on the way out. But the thing is, getting back to what I was saying, is there's going to be a battle for our existence. And it's already starting, but it's going to really gain steam here in the next year or two, because we will have to fight for our independence all over again. So mark my words, it is coming. So be prepared, and you know, hold your loved ones close, hold the people that you hold dear close, even strangers that you care to help out. Hold them close too, because we're all going to be in the same foxhole together soon enough.
Yeah, R makes a good point here too. On kind of on that note, times like this, it's hard to remember. We are commanded by love to love our neighbors. Not the grand abstraction of humanity. If every individual only did it, the big picture takes care of itself. I mean, it's very true. We're called to love our neighbors, and yeah, it's hard. We're hard pressed to find that these days, though. In a lot of circumstances, yeah, that's a good point, though. I will never comply. I will continue to be me, death and beyond. There you go, another monster.
Yeah, I will say this: no matter what happens, and obviously it's very up in the air for me right now, guys. As long as I can, throw my voice out there and amplify it publicly, I will do so, because I am in this fight. I believe in humanity. I want to fight for humanity, and I'm going to continue to call out the evil that is trying to take that away. And I will do that as long as I humanly possibly can. That I have the means to do it. I absolutely am dedicated 110% to that. I believe that's my purpose.
I want to show this too. This was something I put up. This was sent to me from a friend. I saw this. I wanted to share this. This is from the International Space Station. This is actually from the Secure Team. So we got to give a shout out to Secure Team for showing this. Let me see. Let's stop this one.
No, Tyler.
Rusty with this stuff.
Tyler, Secure Team.
Yeah, Tyler put this out. So yeah, I'm gonna put the link in the chat so you guys can check it out. Full credit to Tyler. This is interesting though. Watch this for a second, and I will be right back.
2022. I'm watching NASA live feed. Watch this. Two of them pop up. One of them goes away. Now we got a triangle object. They go away. NASA cuts the damn feed. That's typical.
Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. So I want to start off today's video with this mind-blowing, life-altering, world-changing news leading the headlines everywhere, which is the fact that NASA, aka Never a Straight Answer, plans to join the effort into investigating and researching UFOs. So if you've seen this, many of you may have been extremely excited, and some of you may have had a little bit of an eye roll and wondered what I thought about this. And well, before any of you guys click off, don't. You guys are going to want to watch this video until the very end, because I promise you, if you click off halfway through this video, you're going to probably miss 3 or 4 other pieces of UFO footage. And so just like the Pentagon did a couple of years back, we got the infamous Pentagon UAP report, and we were supposed to finally receive disclosure and know the truth about aliens. And well, we all know how that went. It was a big nothing burger, and it was more of the same from the government. In that instance, it was the Pentagon, but the government is the government. They all work in tandem with each other. And so the fact that NASA has come out, their associate administrator, stating publicly that NASA is going to be conducting a study which they will be financing to, quote, look at unexplained sightings with an open mind. Now, if you have been a viewer of mine for any extended period of time, you will know what a crock these headlines truly are. I've been doing this for 10 years, and when it comes to the UFO phenomenon and keeping it quiet, NASA and the Pentagon and the government, but specifically NASA, have been at the forefront of denying that the UFO phenomenon even existed and that we were all just a bunch of crazies wearing tinfoil hats. And yet, you're telling me that after almost a century of total suppression, secrecy, cover-ups, misleading information, disinformation being injected into the mix of the UFO research community, they are suddenly going to say, hey, sorry guys, even though for the past 60 some odd years we totally lied to you and made a joke of the UFOs, totally denying their existence, we want to come out and help and join the fight. And it's just very, very amusing to me, and it should be amusing to you guys too. And we know for a fact, and I've documented it, it's well documented, that the government has been covering up the existence of alien vehicles visiting Earth since dinosaur times. NASA, again, never a straight answer, or another awesome acronym for it I like is never admitting space anomalies. So there you go, NASA, never a straight answer. I know to some of you it may be exciting, and of course, I always like to look at life with the glass half full, and I did back 3 years ago when the Pentagon reports came out. They talk a big game. They have a couple people talk, in front of Congress, the only mind-blowing UFO footage that's ever come out has always come from, regular people sending it and, posting it online and emailing it to me. And that's where it happens. All right. It's not coming from Elizondo. It's not coming from the Pentagon. They give no new information. It's always the same old talk, same old fluff. UFOs exist. We know they're out there, but Secure Team 10 will always be here. So now let's get to some UFO footage. I'm done talking pretty much for the rest of this video. So we're going to start out with this first clip, which is one of many of UFOs happening both on Earth and out in space that have been captured on camera. In this first clip, a piece of footage was captured during what looks like an air show. And it happens real quick, so we'll play it a couple times here.
Yeah, that's interesting, huh? It's like it's coming right out of the ocean. It's got a flashing light there. It's flying right up in front of the plane. Very interesting.
And so this news broke after the video was posted to Twitter by a guy named David Sugarman, who said at the time, quote, "I just returned from the Miami Air and Sea Show." So it was a sea show. He says, "I was curious what you all think this thing is that blazes past the screen. Looks like it came from the water. I shot this video in slow motion and that thing is moving."
Yeah.
And so kudos to David Sugarman for posting this amazing footage, which was then later picked up by numerous news outlets and, UFO researchers. So tell me what you think. Now, on to the next clip, which is even more gnarly, that was posted as a response to the Twitter video you just saw. And so now we're flying, okay? We've got a camera in the cockpit of an airplane here. You can see the engine and the propeller spinning. We've got the same view as the pilot, and we're suddenly out of nowhere, this time, count them, 2 UFOs blast past this airplane.
Jeez. What do you think of that? Look at that. 2 of them.
So there's one.
Again, a really flat
looks like a disc or a saucer, which is then, because of the blurring effect, it's stretching it to look more cigar shaped. And there is the second one, which looked to have less blur and looked even more like a saucer. But anyway, guys, tell me what you think of this. I think it looks more like 2 sort of disc shaped, traditional saucers here, passing by very close to the propellers on this plane. I mean, this is some crazy footage. So, that was posted as a response to the Daytona, Florida air show UFO clip, but we are not done yet. Let's now get on to the next piece of UFO strangeness caught on video. And it was emailed to me by a viewer who was watching the ISS, or International Space Station's live feed. So we got the International Space Station up there. It's got cameras on it, and on those cameras, sometimes strange unknown objects appear. Here's his video.
All right, guys, notice the date and everything at the bottom. It's the 9th, 2022. I'm watching NASA live feed. Watch this. 2 of them pop up. One of them goes away.
Over here.
Now we got a triangle object. They go away. NASA cuts the damn feed. That's different.
NASA cuts the feed.
Well, it don't get any more straightforward than that. Another really awesome piece of footage. The camera gives us a beautiful shot of planet Earth. We see the horizon line and the darkness of space beyond it. And suddenly, as the man says,
watching NASA live feed. Watch this. 2 of them pop up. One of them goes away.
Always happens
now
like
we got
that,
a triangle object. They go away. NASA cuts the damn feed. That's typical.
All right, so I love that, and I love this guy, and his sentiments directly reflect mine. And the fact that they cut the feed when these objects appear and have appeared throughout the years, it just solidifies that much more the validity of the footage. You saw the objects appear, you saw one of them disappear and then come back, and then there was 3 or 4 of them, and then boom, the feed is cut. But it's never fast enough because there is a slight delay when they are cutting the feed. And you got to remember, NASA has got to have someone watching this feed 24/7 nonstop.
Just in
and
case.
sometimes they cut it and say, well, it's just maintenance or interference. But once you've seen the footage I've featured on this channel, especially some of my ISS footage that has been picked up and featured in the past by see one of these sun, along with the solar flares and plasma discharges constantly popping out into space. And in this footage, just as we see one of these solar flares erupting, what looks like, at least in my opinion, to be a triangular unknown object steadily passes the sun in view of the camera. So it's a very short clip, all right? You're seeing slowed down versions here, and this is some pretty crazy footage. First of all, because this person is zoomed in so close to the sun to where we're only seeing barely a quarter of it, that if this were a satellite or a plane passing by in our atmosphere or an Earth orbit, because of the zoom level, you wouldn't even see it. So a 747 jumbo jet could fly by and it would not show up on the camera, because the telescope is looking past that plane and past any tiny little satellites that are orbiting the Earth. And at this zoom level, to be able to capture an object passing by the sun and actually have it somewhat in focus and actually see a shape, a triangle-like shape to it, that tells you that this object, whatever it is, it's much closer to the sun. Now, some of you may say, well, this it could be the International Space Station as it transits and orbits the Earth and passes by the sun. We have footage and photographs, countless photos and video footage of this very thing, and you're seeing that here. And so these are official telescopic images with a filter showing just how massive the sun is compared to the International Space Station, which is pretty giant. And so from Earth, this is what it looks like. And it has a very, very distinct shape. You can see both of the 2 very long rectangular solar panel arrays and then the other various main structure in the middle. And when looking at this footage posted to Reddit, I see a triangle. Whatever this is, it's moving steady. It's captured in multiple frames as it passes by the sun and into the darkness of space. You guys tell me what you think of this. Do you think it's the International Space Station? And the fact that it looks like a triangular shaped, sort of like a vector almost. And ironically, it's captured right as a solar flare is erupting on the sun, which is yet another rabbit hole we've gone down many times on how these UFOs fuel their ships. So tell me what channel and watch it until the photo of Earth. We get this partial view of the Earth, half of it in shadow. And what was noticed, and I've posted this before, but this photograph was taken back in the 1960s, and encircled in red here is an unknown object that looks very, like I said, ominous, trucking alongside the Apollo 10 capsule. And the astronauts of the various Apollo missions have in later years, and sadly a lot of these guys are gone now, but they plainly said that they witnessed unidentified objects
a lot of them did
following
say
them
that
when they were in Earth orbit and when they were on their way to the moon. While they were on the moon and on their way back home to planet Earth. Likewise, I've done many videos about this. You'll find on this channel, going deep into the NASA Apollo transcripts where pieces are missing or redacted, showing clear evidence that these astronauts had witnessed and radioed back to Houston that they were witnessing unknown objects. And at that time, what they would say over the radio, they would use the term bogey. You know, we have a bogey outside of the window. Or they would also use a term called Santa Claus. And that is another code word we've done. I think I did a whole video about. So you may want to go to the channel and search the term Santa Claus to learn more about that code name. But just looking at this image from Apollo 10 and increasing the contrast the best I could, zooming in, this looks like if there were, if my mind could picture some sort of crazy abstract version of what an alien craft would look like from a civilization millions of years ahead of ours, I wouldn't think it would be sharp and rigid with nuts and bolts. You know what I mean? Like something that we would create. And whatever this object is here that seems to have structure to it, it's lit up. Part of it is being hit by the sun. The side is in shadow, much like the Earth. And the thing just has a very abstract looking shape to it, you know, with these long sort of spiky structures coming up out of the top of it. And then, you know, where it comes out towards its center mass and then curves back inwards and then back out towards the bottom. And, you know, like I said, this is what I would think an alien ship would look like. Something that could shapeshift, something that our tiny little earthly monkey brains just could not and will probably never be able to comprehend. And some people have said that this is the infamous Black Knight satellite. And I don't know any more than I think anyone else. It very well could be. But just another example upon the many other thousands, it goes back to the idea of why I'm taking NASA getting into the UFO research game with a grain of salt, because between them cutting the feed to the International Space Station every time a UFO would appear, to them redacting and suppressing events and transcripts that occurred during the Apollo moon missions, to the plain as day fact that they've never told us the truth about anything before. Thank you guys for stopping by today. Throw this video a like and post a comment.
All right, so that's the video that Secure Team Tyler put out. And yeah, NASA is now saying they're going to start investigating UFOs, you know. But as I don't know, was it Toolbat that made the comment here of NASA in Hebrew meaning to deceive, and that is true. That is true that they, you know, whether they took this from that word or not. Well, I don't think there's anything coincidental about it, but yeah, here it is here in the Hebrew. NASA right there is to deceive.
Very
There's also connections with NASA and the word for a snake or a serpent, which is the nakash in the Hebrew. Nakash, I believe I pronounced that right, nakash, and that's very similar to NASA. Some people, you know, believe that the word nakash is the root of it is NASA, which is to deceive, the lying snake, the serpent's tongue. And then, you know, you've got this red swoop here, which a lot of people have, you know, said, well, that looks like a snake's tongue. There you go. You know, so can you believe anything NASA says? I don't know.
So wait,
there's a lot of it.
So wait, we really teamed up with the reptilians and reverse engineered their technology?
Right, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Well, I don't know. I mean, there is technically the secret space program, and we can take that for what it is. But you know,
well, we've done a show on that before. Yeah.
I mean, that's floating around out there. So you never know what these craft may be. I really do think that some form or fashion, you know, and you have to ask yourselves this, guys. I mean, we bitch about the billions that have been sent to Ukraine. Think about the trillions over the years that in black budget projects that, you know, the American people aren't even privy to. So think about that. And where did a lot of this go? Well, you have to wonder, you know, do we have some sort of advanced space fleet sitting up there that is, you know, that nobody knows anything about except for a select few? That is definitely food for thought. And then there's also the, you know, you think about it, there's also, remember, even though the Biden administration, out of spite, dismantled a whole lot of Trump policies and everything else, one thing that they didn't entirely get rid of, that they just shifted some duties around, but they kept, was Space Force. There's obviously a need for the Space Force.
There's also a lot of connection to the Freemasons. A lot of the astronauts, I mean, pretty much all the astronauts were also Freemasons. So there's, you know, there's connections there. People have made as well. So yeah, you know, I don't know. It's interesting research to look into, whether they're going to be, you know, what exactly they want to be looking in the UFO phenomenon for all of a sudden now. Yeah, see, here's Neil deGrasse Tyson with his, you know, sun shirt, which is a symbol of a high priesthood of the Freemasons here. It's right there on the high priest chair. So it's the same symbol. And they're all about symbology. Freemasons are it's all about symbology and using symbols to communicate. I mean, that's not even conspiracy theory. That's from their own book. They use symbols. Symbols as a language. This is one of the rings right there. Freemason rings. So, there's a lot to be researched there, and we've done a lot of that ourselves on this show here. But I don't know. Interesting. NASA now wants to get involved. We'll see what happens there.
Well, I know that we had a finite amount of time. We're at the hour and 42-minute mark. So if we want to wind down, so we promised you some Janus. So
Janus.
Do we want to go back to the old school where it all began, or do we want a new clip of Janus?
Is there a new one?
No, there's plenty of them. But
all right, let's see something new.
Okay,
let's see something new.
Let's see. Okay, we'll do. we'll do this one.
Close this out.
Oh, hang on. Where is she? There we go. Okay. All right. Let's share it up. Share screen. Oh, this one she's caught a huge figure on the thermal cam.
Oh boy.
What is that?
A huge figure.
What is that? I'm just going to move a little bit away from it and come back to it. There it is. It's right on the water's edge. And the signature is getting bigger. There's something there and it's reflecting off the water. Seriously, what is that?
Hey, Maria.
Ronnie, I've got a huge red signature. It's across the river from me.
What do you think it is?
It
huge red signature.
Large red heat signature hiding behind a tree. This is honestly the strangest thing I've ever seen.
This is getting stranger by the minute. I want to try something. Just keep it on the target. I'm going to do a call in 30 seconds.
I've got it in my sights. Look, whoa. It's moving. The tree is not going to move like that. That is an animal.
Did the target move?
It is definitely not hiding behind a tree. It's moving a lot.
Does it look like it's on all fours or standing upright?
It's all vertical. There's little white dots above this heat signature.
Whoa, that is
and
weird.
Moving around everywhere.
Yeah, it is pretty weird. The dots above it.
That is so strange. There have been reports of people seeing a Bigfoot creature with small orbs flying around its
UFO
head.
orbs. It's predator.
Okay, what?
Whoa, shh. What was that?
That just gave me the chills.
I'm looking for any shape, any animal, eye shine, anything. Nothing. It might be on the other side of that. Ronnie, I just turned my flashlight on to see if I could see what it was, and I don't see it with my flashlight. But this heat signature is so big that it's coming through a huge shrub.
How big does it look?
Is it on? It's getting smaller. It's getting smaller. And the bottom part is looking more and more faint and transparent. It's getting smaller and starting to disappear. Hold on. No. The bottom half is gone, and now it's just a small white circle. Whatever it was
Interesting.
turned into a small white circle.
Very interesting.
Oh my God.
Oh, you did your job, Janice.
I know that this animal was standing behind the bush because when I turned on my flashlight and flashed it across the river, there was nothing there. I still had the heat signature on the thermal, but there was nothing standing there.
Oh, Janice. Hey, that was pretty interesting, though. They actually caught. Well, there's a lot of, we've talked about this before, the UFO connection with Bigfoot, and a lot of UFOs seen around the same time. Bigfoot sightings happen, and orbs, and some people claim to have seen Bigfoot coming in and out of portals, exiting the UFO crafts with grays. So yeah, that stuff's all connected. This whoa, how do we get there? This stuff's all connected. All the paranormal stuff. That's why I don't know if these cryptids are really just another species of undiscovered, creatures on this planet, or if they're something else that's not fully from this planet or fully,
they're undocumented aliens.
Yeah, undocumented aliens.
Take that any way you want, folks.
Yeah,
Pun intended there. But the funny thing is, though, when you think about it, I'm very intrigued by earlier in the show when we started, where we were talking about that skinwalker, a possible skinwalker picture. Because that, I think, to me was a very compelling picture. Now it could be somebody in a costume, but that was clear as day.
It's a pretty good costume. I mean, that mask was pretty. If it's a mask, it's pretty good looking. But and that's a infrared camera that picked that up, like night vision. So
yeah, so
it was pretty good.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So I have to wonder about that skinwalker thing. I really do. But again, thank you so much, folks, for hanging out with us tonight. Hex Allen, Citizen, Deranged Lunatic, Pavlov's. We had RR here.
Another monster, RR.
Another monster. Drunk 3PO, thank you so much for coming in.
Jay, thanks, Jay.
We had Galford's dog. We had a lot of people that came through. Chief Eddie,
Lunatic.
Sure. Tollbat, thank you.
Tollbat. Yeah. Soul Assassin.
And man, we just had a cast of thousands. So we had a lot of viewers show up. I was very happy with the turnout, seeing as we
for
did
being an impromptu last minute stream.
Yeah,
I hadn't even really promoted. Keck.
Keck was here. Keck. Yeah, it was great seeing Keck. Rob's Rules. We also had. I think there was a Pavlov's dog catcher costume.
Yep.
So great to see Pavlov as well. So just another red shirt. Thanks for stopping by. And
just another red shirt. Tommy made it. Yeah. Just at the end of the show. Yeah. Tommy, what's going on, Tommy? Hope you're well.
So it was great. And Hex Allen, thank you as well, sir. So man, really awesome. All right, I guess before we get out of here, I'll plug my stuff and then we'll go. So Tuesday, guys, I'm going to talk about, obviously we've been keeping an eye on the gun legislation. We'll talk to that. We'll talk about that Tuesday. Also, we'll talk about the sham of hearing that J6 committee stuff is. A lot of people think that's a distraction. I think it's absolute unconstitutional bullshit. Same as I think that committee is unconstitutional. So we'll get into that subject. We'll also, Thursday there'll be no Pegasus Actual, but maybe I'll do something else in place of that. And then the following Thursday there will be a Pegasus Actual. So we'll have a full slate the week after. But it's just going to be United Resistance this week. And again, if anybody wants to help out and, with the Mom's Memorial Fund, it's givesendgo.com/Taylor Legacy. You can help even by just sharing the link out.
I'll put it back in the chat here in a second.
And that's much appreciated. And I just want to say thank you so much again for everybody that came by and made this a successful comeback for Mr. Final Death Star. Hey, Tommy. Great to see you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I really do appreciate everyone being here. I honestly thought, maybe we'll get like a couple people that just happen to see the stream and pop in, and because I didn't really promote this because I didn't know I was going to do it really until a couple hours ago, and decided, hey, it's today's the day. Want to get back and do a show. So, and I kind of talked about it with Drew before, because Drew did mention wanting to chat and catch up, and I said, yeah, I'm thinking about doing a show maybe Sunday. And then today pulled the trigger and did it. So thank you guys all for being here. I'm going to put this up there too. And supporting the show. I know it's been like 6 months. It's a long time, 6 months. It went by really fast too. I can't believe it's been 6 months. But I'm going to honestly try to do a show once a month, at least once a month, and see, hopefully sometime in the future I'll be able to get back at it more often. But for now, I don't want it to go another 6 months. So I'm going to try to do once a month, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. But and thanks for, I know Bear, if you get a chance to watch this, I know you send some messages to me, checking on me, make sure I was good, everything was fine. So I appreciate you, brother. And yeah, everything's good, just busy. So, but a lot's going on in the world, and it's too. I miss talking about it with you guys, so wanted to get back on and do it. So we'll see you guys again, soon, probably with another month or so. We'll do another show, but I'll just post it up. I don't know; it'll probably be impromptu again. But it seems like you guys found it. You guys, I guess the notifications are still going out, so that's a good thing. I'm happy about that. That's good. Yeah. So thanks again, everyone, and we will see you guys later. Until then,
see you, folks.
Party on, be excellent to each other, party on, and travel safely, my friends.